Hello once again, and greetings from the vicarage. This is becoming a bit of a habit, but one which I hope is helping during this rather difficult time. As I look back over the last few Sundays, we have celebrated several feast days, even if it was in our own homes. Since the church closed, we have missed a fair amount. The latter part of Lent, Palm Sunday, Holy Week, Easter Day, Ascension Day, Pentecost and Trinity Sunday. And so that means that now we have come to what is known in the Church's calendar as ordinary time. I don't think any of us could ever describe this time as being ordinary. You have probably heard on the news that the churches can open from this coming Monday. I heard the announcement first from the BBC, then I listened to the Prime Minister, and then a day or so later the diocese signposted me to the National Church's website where I read the details for myself. However, it might be quite something different to what you're expecting. Because from Monday, places of worship can, if they choose to, open for private individual prayer. And this is further explained in the guidance as a single person entering a church to pray on their own. I have decided, with the agreement of the PCC, that we will open St Mary's each day from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. This is to begin with. In order for us to open, we've had to follow strict guidelines laid down by the National Church with regards to the cleaning and the setting up of the building. Those wishing to enter for private prayer will find that only the front two pews are available, and they're asked to be aware of social distancing along with recommended hand cleaning. I know that this is not how we are used to seeing and using St Mary's, but as the Roman Catholic Bishop of London said a few nights ago on the TV, it is better to see the churches open, even if there are restrictions, than locked up. Before we move to this Sunday's readings, on Friday, the church remembered the Apostle Barnabas. And the appointed Gospel reading is from St John's Gospel, chapter 15, verses 12 to 17. You'll all recognise this passage as it's usually read on Remembrance Sunday. Now Barnabas is one of the apostles that's not mentioned as much as some of the others, but he was the one who saw one of his fields and gave the money to the apostles for the use of those in need. He was well respected by his fellow apostles, and they asked him to go on a mission and check out the rumours that non-Jewish people were converting to Christianity. His trip took him 2 weeks, and he travelled 300 miles to Antioch. Because Christianity began as a Jewish movement, and many thought that the converts needed to obey the Jewish laws of circumcision and kosher food. Barnabas reported back that many Gentiles were believers and enjoying God's favour without the need to obey the Jewish rules. Barnabas became a minister in Antioch, and when the numbers grew, he appointed St Paul as his associate. The church supported St Paul's missionary trips, and Barnabas accompanied St Paul on his first trip to Cyprus and then on to Turkey. It said that Barnabas had a compassion for the outsider. The passage from John chapter 15 is all about Jesus teaching the people to love and to care for each other. And Barnabas went on in the same light of Christ, telling others not only to believe in Jesus, but also to love like Jesus had. One of my favourite verses from the Bible is verse 16, which says, "You did not choose me, but I chose you." I like to think that I and all of us are chosen just like the first disciples, and God chooses each of us for a particular reason. God chose Barnabas to go out to the non-Jewish people and to spread his word. Throughout my long and period of discernment over what God wanted me to do, I repeated that short verse again and again as a reminder to myself that whatever I was being called to, if I was being called at all, was not my decision but that of God. Telling myself this made me much more relaxed about the whole process. I also reminded God, as if he needed reminding, that when things were beyond me, as they often were, if he really had got something in mind for me, I needed his help. It is very encouraging, I think, to know that help is at hand, and all you have to do is ask. And sometimes you don't even have to ask. This is true for all of us. As it says in verse 14, "You are my friends if you do what I command." Jesus is our friend, and he commands us to love each other as he loves us. There have been some great examples of love shown during this difficult time, but there has also been lots of acts of hatred, especially over this last week. We are to love each other as Jesus loved us, and he loves us enough to give his life for us. Maybe think about someone who needs this kind of love today. Barnabas' friend Paul, in his first letter to the Corinthians in chapter 13, tells us all about love. That's why most of the wedding couples choose this reading for their service. I seem to have focused on the Gospel of Barnabas, but it does have a wonderful message, and it's all about love. Forgive me if I've mentioned love a lot, but on Thursday it was my 37th wedding anniversary. Finally, love is the most wonderful gift given by God. So let's all try and use it.